Well, good to have you here for our luncheon. Hopefully that you'll have an enjoyable time. Just a couple of quick announcements for you that you just need to be aware of what's going on. One, our next lunch is coming up in March. I know it's still February, but I need to let you know that it will be the first Wednesday of the month and not the second Wednesday. The second Wednesday is UVU spring break. So if you decide to come up here on the second Wednesday, congratulations, you'll be up here by yourself. And there won't be any food. So plan on the first Wednesday, that's the 6th of March. Now you can make your reservations right now, as you do with everything else. You can do it ahead of time. But I just want to remind you, and we'll put it in our emails, it'll be on our Facebook page, and you'll be hearing it ad nauseum until it comes up. But it's the 6th of March, and we have to have those reservations in a week ahead of time. So plan now. The second thing is, as you came in, you probably saw a poster up on the board. You may see it right here. It says Denim to Diamonds. This is our upcoming spring scholarship seminar. We encourage you to come to that. That's going to be a great day. We've got 3 wonderful international speakers that will just really raise the bar as far as lifelong learning is concerned. We've got Charles Dahlquist, who for 14 years was the honorary consul to Germany. Of course, we've got Kyle Reyes from UVU, and we've got Cameron Martin, who is the president of Rocky Mountain University. So plan on that. I need to let you know one big thing. For our luncheons and also for our upcoming spring scholarship seminar, it does not have to be that it's just for ElderQuest members. Anyone that would like to come, please invite them to come. They do have to make reservations. We do have to have that. So make your reservations for that now. You'll get a little bit more information about why we called it Denim to Diamonds. We want you to wear your biggest belt buckle, your cowboy hat, your boots. No, we're not going to do any boot scoot and boogie. I'm sorry about that. Wendell, I know you wanted to do it. Wendell and I were going to tag team that one, but we're not going to do that. I'm just really happy about that. But anyway, plan on that for the 27th of March in the morning, from basically 10 in the morning till about 2:30 in the afternoon. It'll be a great Southwestern meal that will be provided to us from Culinary Arts. You notice how they were able to provide us with a Hawaiian meal today. I'm going to let Gwen's back. She's going to be the one that's going to be able to tell you what we're having and why it's so good. But I do have one quick thing. Come on up. You got 30 seconds, remember? Here we go. Well, I just cut you down.
Oh. Okay, this is going to be fast. We have some deadlines coming up with our travel. So this Friday, we are purchasing the Logan shows. We've been holding them, so we're going to let those tickets go that we don't need. So we wanted to make sure if you had somebody that wanted to join, if you want to join, to let us know this week so we make sure we get the tickets for them. For Branson, on March 16th is the date that Delta opens their group space so that we can book those airline tickets. It's on a Saturday for the 16th. On the 18th, I will be purchasing those airline tickets for the Branson trip. So if you want to go, please let us know so that we get a ticket for you. Because last year we had some people that didn't let us know till later. The plane was sold out. They ended up having to fly in the day before and stay and then meet us at the airport. So we want to make sure we have everybody that wants to go on that plane with us. And then with Southern Utah, on the 1st of March, we are going to buy the shows with Tuacahn as well as Shakespeare. And so we just need to make sure that you're aware that Frozen is selling out really quickly. That has been a big draw. So we've got to get the tickets so that you have them. So please, come join. We want to have all of you come and spend this time with us. It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Culinary Arts has asked me to again ask, who are our nut allergy people? Are they here? We don't want anybody to fall over. It makes me nervous. So if one of you are the nut allergy people, just let us know so we can make sure we have the right meal for you. I don't see any hands, so I just covering my bases on this. All right, without further ado, you're done with me for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, Gwen Anderson.
That's supposed to be done by a man, but I couldn't find anybody who could blow it as well as I could.
She's so humble.
Yes.
I'm perfect.
Your shirt is.
There's my Valentine.
So that you can get the full enjoyment of the whole program that Gwen's got going, I do ask you as a courtesy, if you would take your cell phones, put them on mute or vibrate or something of that nature. Turn the volume way down so that we don't hear your wonderful, hey, answer the phone, silly.
Okay.
Or something of that nature. So if you would do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, it's all yours, Gwen.
Aloha! You've been well trained. I love that. Happy Valentine's Day too. Did you know today's Valentine's Day?
Yep.
Thank you for coming and celebrating a day of love with us about Hawaii. And you know what? Valentine's Day is also a day of celebration in Hawaii because that's the day we killed Captain Cook. Yeah! I'll tell you all about it. I really appreciate the fact that you look more beautiful than I have ever seen you. We've got to take pictures by the ton today. Look at you. Look at each other. You're all colorful and you're all smiley, and I think it's just wonderful in the middle of February. So nice. Well, I got some surprises for you. I'm only going to talk for about 5 or 6 minutes. What I want to do is talk about some islands that you don't know about in Hawaii. So first of all, let me share with you that if you want to live a long time, you want to go to Hawaii. Why? It's the longest life expectancy state out of the 50. We're at least 3 years older or longer than any other state. Did you know that? Yeah, Hawaii, you live a long time in Hawaii. My grandmother, 99. So you never know. If you want to live a long time, think about going there. Although it's the most long living state, it is very isolated. I know a lot of mainlanders who go there and they just can't wait to get off the rock because they're used to jumping in their car and driving 700,000 miles to the next place, you know. So it is small, and that's also another issue. But it is the best island and state in the United States with the best emotional and physical well-being. Did you know that? We're the healthiest state too. Good reasons why. Perfect weather year-round. And most expensive state. More expensive than downtown New York City. So you got to either live with 5 families in the same house or you got to have a lot of money. And it's the only state out of the 50 with a royal palace. Did you know that? We actually had a kingdom. And it is the second happiest state. Do you know what the number 1 is? Utah. Now, a lot of people don't know the Forbidden Island. Take a look at that arrow up there. That's the little tiniest island next to Kauai. That's Ni'ihau. It's called the Forbidden Island. And I'm going to tell you about it because nobody's allowed to go on it. And as a result, Hawaiian culture is intact. Then we have Kauai, which is the Garden Island. These are all the nicknames for the islands. Then we have the Gathering Place, which is Oahu, which most of you have been to. By the way, how many of you have loved Hawaii enough to go at least once? Raise your hand. Woo! How many have been there more than once? More than 2 times? Right on. Thank you. You know why? You're supporting those poor people over there. We have abandoned pineapple, abandoned sugarcane, and we've gone to tourism big time. And especially if you can go to Maui. After Lahaina burned down, they are really dependent on tourism. So let's go to the next island. It's called the Friendly Island, Molokai. A lot of poverty in Molokai because they don't want tourism. They want to maintain the Hawaiian language, Hawaiian culture, and they want peace somewhere. All the islands are very busy now except for Molokai. It is beautiful, great coastline, and very quiet and peaceful. They do have a few very humble hotels on there, but not many. And then we have another island nobody knows about it, Lanai. Lanai is the pineapple island. Very interesting island. Wait till I tell you. Then we have the Valley Island. How many of you have been to Maui? Wow, you got to go, especially on the road to Hana. And then we have the Big Island, which is currently erupting always. And I should tell you all, as a former ranger at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, I was Ranger Lanakila for 4 wonderful years after I retired from UVU. I decided to check off on my bucket list, go home to Hawaii, work with the Aina, the land, and build a home on top of the volcano, which is what I did. And I had to come back to Utah though, because all my kids live here, my grandkids, you know how it is. But at least I got to check it off. And the Big Island, people don't understand, is built by 5 shield volcanoes, like a warrior shield put on the ground. But even though it's a shield and not like Mount Fuji, which is a cinder cone volcano, we do have the biggest mountain in the world in Hawaii, Mauna Kea. But that's measuring it from the bottom of the ocean up. That's why I put this map there, so you can see that the tops of the mountains are really what comprise the islands. And the biggest mountain, and it's got Mount Everest by a mile higher. So, but nobody knows it, we just brag about it. Now, the interesting thing about Hawaii is it's north of the equator. And when you're north of the equator, you don't fry. If you're south of the equator, it's much hotter. But if you're north of the equator, which we are, we have all this wonderful, perfect year-round weather. During the summer, it's between 84 and 88. We really get upset if it's 90, just too much. And in the winter, between 79 and 83, everybody always came back from Christmas vacation with a new suntan. And I'm going to give you a little bit of history because that makes Hawaii more interesting for everybody. King Kamehameha finally united all the islands that were fighting with each other forever. Experts think that Hawaiians got there somewhere between 124 to 1120 AD. Experts with language think we came from Taiwan. All Pacific Islanders reject that because the Maoris kept intact historical chants, and they trace their lineage back to the Holy Land, the Middle East. And that's why so many Polynesians are LDS. I'll let you connect the dots. Okay, in addition to that, Captain Cook came, and he came in 1778, which is before the time that Kamehameha organized and conquered all of the islands. When he came, though, let me jump down to the bottom. He really caused havoc. At first, when he came, the Hawaiians thought he was Lono, the god of agriculture and the god of rainfall or fertility. And they worshiped him and gave him loads of food and gifts and everything, beautiful feather capes that were very, very valuable. And he gave gifts too. And for about a month, they had a good relationship because Hawaiians treated him like God. Then they found very quickly he was not God. Why? Many of the shipmen died of syphilis, gonorrhea, measles, leprosy, and all kinds of diseases that the Hawaiians almost immediately caught. And as a result, over 8,500 Hawaiians died of leprosy. And there was a colony established for them, which I'll show you in just a minute. By 1820, they had whittled down their population, the Hawaiian population, from 680,000. It was down 48%. And that's why there's hardly any Hawaiians left. It's because of the terrible diseases that were brought, not to only Hawaii, but to New Zealand, to Tonga, and Tahiti. Okay, and in addition, after the Cook establishment left, and they came 3 times, then the missionaries came, and they came with business zeal. And they opened up the plantations, the sugarcane and the pineapple. And as that happened, then all of a sudden, all the Filipinos came, the Japanese came, the Chinese came, the Koreans came, and the Portuguese came. And the Portuguese were bosses on all of the plantations because they were white and they were articulate. But If it wasn't for the Portuguese, we wouldn't have Portuguese sausage, we wouldn't have Portuguese bean soup, we wouldn't have malasadas donuts. And the musicians brought a little guitar. And if it wasn't for the Portuguese, we wouldn't have the ukulele. In addition, the Portuguese came with beautiful voices. And as a result, we went from chanting to singing beautifully. So we have a lot to thank for the people who came to Hawaii. But when they came, they intermarried with the Hawaiians, which further decimated the Hawaiian population. But not the Japanese. The Japanese married Japanese. But everybody else intermarried with us. And we became a real chop suey nation. And it worked because there is no discrimination or prejudice. People do live together in love, and there is an aloha spirit there. But 13 men who were Americans, and many were missionaries, decided to rewrite the Hawaiian Constitution after we had a queen installed. And they made it so that only voters with high income could vote. So the queen said no. And so the 13 men organized United States Marines that came in and overthrew our queen, Liliuokalani. And she's the one who wrote Aloha Oe because of sadness. Did you know that? No. Hawaii, though, became a state because they made us a territory when they overthrew the kingdom, and they threw Liliuokalani in jail for a while. But the saddest thing is not the overthrow that was illegal of Hawaii. The saddest thing, really, is they waited till 1993 to apologize, and that's a long time to apologize. And even worse, paradise was stolen by the wealthy, by the elite. That's the hardest part of all. Let me show you who lives there and who owns what. Now, the wealthy really have bought Hawaii, and unfortunately, unlike Tahiti, you can't buy beachfront property in Tahiti unless you're Tahitian. If you're Caucasian, French, or Chinese, you got to live up on top of the mountain. But in Hawaii, if you got enough money, boy, you got it. So what happened is Stephen Case of AOL came to Kauai and bought 31,000 acres. Larry Ellison, he's the worst one of all. He's the one that started Oracle. He bought Lanai, 89,000 acres, or 98% of the island. I don't know who owns the last 2% or why, but then Peter Thiel from PayPal. He's by far the wealthiest person in Hawaii, worth many, many billions. Then we have Mark Benioff, Salesforce, and Peter Odemeyer, eBay, hundreds of investments. Oprah owns 1,000 acres in Maui. Jeff Bezos owns 15,000 acres. Zuckerberg owns 1,560, but he built a big stone wall all around his mansion, and it made it impossible for people to go to the beach, which is public property. On top of that, Roseanne has 646 acres, and even Clint Eastwood lives there. Did you know? And I'm only just the tip of the iceberg. You can't believe how many people have taken over Hawaii. And it's okay. That's happened, and we still love it. And we live in Las Vegas and Utah and California. In fact, Las Vegas is called the ninth island. It really is. Now, here's some fast facts about Hawaii. Number one, Native Hawaiians are a race of people. Pure Hawaiians are almost extinct. Dora, please stand up. Dora is pure Hawaiian. Her family is from Ni'ihau, the forbidden item. Wait till you hear. And she and Priscilla are going to give you a wonderful kupuna dance, which is seniors. And then in addition, I have Lena Ala over here in the red. You understand? She's from Tonga. But of course, in Hawaii, we adopt all of the Polynesian cultures. She will be doing a dance after our lunch is finished. Okay, just a few more minutes. I'm just going to finish this up. Hawaii was a sovereign kingdom at one time. The language was immediately banned. But luckily, we learned English in a hurry, because if we spoke Hawaiian, we were beaten. Did you know that? Anyway, Captain Cook was not a god. He brought all this illness, and his sailors started to die. On top of that, he didn't understand that Polynesians believe in everything as common property. So when the Polynesians went on top of the ship, they thought, well, we need metal nails. So they stole all the nails. They stole everything that was metal, and they didn't think it was stealing. It was common property. Well, of course, Captain Cook and the sailors got upset, so they decided to lash the Hawaiians up to 78 times whipping. And Hawaiians had never seen that kind of discipline before. And so almost immediately, in about 30 days, Tonga, Tahiti, and Hawaii decided that Captain Cook was no good. And it was 2 or 3 trips before they finally killed him at Kealakekua Bay on the Big Island. They tried to fight the Americans also, and were not able to. Liliuokalani wrote the beautiful song Aloha Oi, primarily because of the takeover of Hawaii. But unlike Native Americans, we don't have a tribal government. We were only given lease land. And so people like my mother were on a waiting list for like 57 years, could never get leased land. We had to buy land. And so it wasn't quite the same as Native Americans on the Big Island. We call this the Big Island. And natives are still struggling there for self-government, but they've revitalized the Hawaiian language, which is kind of nice. You can keep eating. They only receive lease reparations. Now, I thought you ought to see what real Hawaiians look like. This is the Merry Monarch. He's the one who started the Merry Monarch Festival with fabulous Hawaiian dancing on the Big Island. And that's Queen Liliuokalani. Whoops, sorry. Oh, it's not working. Why is it not working? Oh, shoot. Well, let me use this one. There's Queen Liliuokalani and King Kalakaua. Okay, and oh shoot. This thing quit working, Mike. You see this? Oh. Okay, I'll have to look at that to find out where I am because my laptop's not obeying. Okay, we do have a beautiful princess who died at age 23 of heartbreak.
Oh, what's the story?
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
There was a movie made about her, but if this would just, oh, it won't work. It's,
Why?
It is going on the screens.
right here, I guess. Okay, maybe that'll work. Eventually? Okay. Thank you. What do we do without Gerhard? Give him a hand. Oh my God. Okay, one thing you can really rely on is nobody has family in Hawaii because everyone is family. And if you get on a plane and you get off the plane over there, almost inevitably people are going to call you uncle or auntie. And it's because you're family. And if you are uncle or auntie, it shocks you when you move to the mainland and find people calling adults by their first name. That's so rude. And it gets so you don't know who's what because everybody's a mixture. And it's been so much intermarriage. These are my parents. They are both English, Hawaiian, and Portuguese. And so we've got this culture of really a lot of love and respect. Now, I thought you'd be interested in knowing who is what. The biggest population is white, then the next is Filipino, then the next is Japanese, and the next is mixed Hawaiian, and then we have Chinese, if you can see the chart. And the pure Hawaiians are even less than the smallest population there, which is Tongan. But the people are the best thing about Hawaii, better than the scenery or anything. Because the aloha spirit is real. It is genuine. It proves you can live in a prosperous, very diverse society, relatively free of discrimination. And here we go. Ni'ihau is a flat, privately owned island by the Robinson family. King Kamehameha V decided to sell it to a Miss Sinclair, who became a Robinson. And he made her promise to keep Hawaiian culture intact. So as a result, over on on the Forbidden Island, I don't know if you can see the roads there. Well, no, it's coming up. Come on, come on, come on. Be patient. Okay. There it is. Okay, hallelujah. It's the only island that voted against statehood. They didn't want to be a United States. They wanted to stay Hawaiian. But they're the only one. Everybody else voted for statehood. And then they will not speak English. They speak Hawaiian. And it's a dead language everywhere else. But they have English taught in their schools. In addition to that, no indoor plumbing, no paved roads. You see all the red dirt roads? And no cars. Horse, There's a few cars for absolute emergencies. No police force, only solar power in the schools. And it is going back into time, and nobody has to pay rent. All you gotta do to live there is be pure Hawaiian. And you get free beef too, free meat from the ranch. It's fabulous. And so they hunt, they fish, they live a complete idyllic, traditional, ancient Hawaiian style. And that's Dora's family. Ranching, fishing, some jobs they go to Kauai, but it's a long haul unless you take a helicopter, because they don't have anything but helicopters, no airport there. And the boat takes at least 5 hours because it's a very rough terrain. Very few tourists come. You gotta have a lot of money for a half a day to go hunting or to sightsee. And it's very rare that they ever let any tourists on board. The Navy, though, has a tracking station on the island, which brings them a lot of money. That's a lot of the reason they're able to continue. And no hotel. And if you are interested, the most beautiful shells in all of Polynesia come from Ni'ihau. But they're disappearing now because the people cannot work at the ranch. The only thing they can do is fish and hunt and make shell lays. And so as a result, all of the rare shells are gone. But they're known for their music. And the reason is when the Robinson family bought them, they were Calvinists and they had very strict laws. Everybody had to be covered up, totally covered up. That's where the mu'u was developed and started. And it's called a mumu. Yes, the mu'u was it. And pretty soon I'll have a picture come up. I better do the pictures in advance. Yeah. But, and all the men had to be covered up to their neck and they had to have short hair and no alcohol, no booze, no swearing, no anything. And so it was a very pristine, very religious, there it is. I don't know. No.
It's coming.
And so what you do is you have all these people that are covered up in tropical weather, very, very so obedient. It was amazingly interesting culture. Okay, you got it now. All right. You see how they're all dressed? And they were all living at that time in grass shacks. Since then, the Robinsons, with the income that came from the tracking station and also from the ranch, they were able to buy or build everybody houses there. It's the first example of homeless tiny home shelters. Okay, and the Ni'ihau shells are disappearing, but like that one is worth $12,000. We also had a wonderful story on Ni'ihau. During the December 7th Pearl Harbor annihilation, a Japanese pilot crash landed on Ni'ihau. And he was dazed. And as he came up out of the water, the Hawaiians met him with all kinds of aloha because they didn't know we'd been bombed. They had no radio, they had no communication, they didn't know. And so they did relieve him of his pistol, though they knew what that was, and his papers. Well, after he got his senses going, he found out that there were 2 Japanese men with families that lived on the island. They were the only ones that would understand him because the Hawaiians couldn't understand Japanese. He couldn't understand Hawaiian. So he got a hold of these 2 Japanese men, and the Japanese men helped him to try to kill the Hawaiians to get the paper back. And you know what happened? Interesting. The man who was responsible for his death was helped by his strong Hawaiian wife, Ella. The Japanese man that held the pistol went with the pilot that had the shotgun to kill Benny Kanahele to get his papers back. As he tried to do that, Ella sprang up, grabbed the pilot's hand with the shotgun, pulled it down, and the Japanese, Hamakua, he took the pistol and shot Benny Hamakua in the abdomen, the groin, and the leg. 3 short, fast, close shots. Never mind. Benny jumped up, picked him up like he did a sheep on the ranch, and crashed him against a stone wall and broke his back. Ella was there with a rock and bashed his head in. And Benny, all shot, grabbed his knife and slit his throat. And as a result, Benny was able to get the Merit Medal of Honor for America and a Purple Heart. So I thought you'd enjoy that. Larry Ellison bought Lanai. This is Lanai coming up next. I want to tell you about Larry Ellison. For some reason, he fell in love with this island and he wanted it all to himself. And what he wanted more than anything was to have it for the wealthy. So it is now really a wealthy man's escape because he has two Four Seasons hotels there. The first one was there and it wasn't enough. So he put in $450 million to build another Four Seasons. Now, I worked for Four Seasons. I was the trainer at Four Seasons in Kona. I got to tell you, it's a 5-diamond hotel. And the meal you're eating today is very similar to what you get at a Four Seasons. Because our culinary art people are top-notch culinary arts. Give them a hand. Now, there's something else you got to know about Lanai. Did you ever heard of the name Walter Murray Gibson? No? Talk about LDS history. Walter Murray Gibson decided to ask Brigham Young for all this money to go and put a Zion together on the island of Lanai. So he got money from the church here in Utah, went to Lanai, and he talked over 350 Mormon converts in Hawaii to move to Lanai with him. But he put the money on the land that he bought in his name. And then he started charging people for the priesthood, for blessings and ordinations. Oh, yes. And then he came up with all kinds of new doctrine. And it wasn't for Brother Namea Namelka, Hawaiian. He wrote a letter to Salt Lake. They would never have excommunicated him, but they did. But by then, the Hawaiians had lost everything and they went back to their original islands. But good news. Now, I can get his picture up here and you can see him. He's really quite a reprobate looking guy. He also was someone who tried to run the kingdom of Hawaii, and immediately they found out he was a big crook. And so they tried to kill him, and he escaped to California and died penniless. Thought you'd enjoy that end of that story. But this last island is Molokai. It's a friendly island. It's the one I told you earlier about beautiful coastlines. And that's where the leper colony was. Only 4 people remain. They are cured of leprosy, but because they lived there all their lives, they didn't want to leave. And it's a national park now. You can go there. So Molokai is a friendly island. It's the one with the most poverty because the Hawaiians want to be living off the land. And they're not really that poor. I mean, you can hunt wild pigs anytime you want. You can go fishing anytime you want. You grow anything you want year round. So it's not that bad, even though it's low income islands. And it's a magical place. And we are going to tell you about the other islands while you finish your meal. But before we do, I'm going to ask if Gerhardt will help us to have you watch our 2 beautiful dancers from Hawaii do a number called Hua Lili Hua.
Dance on this side. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha means happy Valentine's. We're going to dance Pua Lili Lehua. And Pua Lili Lehua is a rare flower that was with the Polynesian Hawaiians believe that came from heaven. As you will see, we will hold our hands Pua and come down, that it planted its seeds and grow, and then it cherished into our hearts the most beautiful flowers. We describe the beautiful flowers that will never erase our mind, that you will see our emotion here. And then this flower, it is seeking. The flower seeking different islands so they can put their seed and to be rebirthed on that island. Sorry, it touches my heart when I say this. It really bring me home. And then when the flower, and it will always remember in your mind that the beauty will never ever leave your heart. And as it is grabbed along, as we bake in, when we're going to see our hand motion, we'll bake in the flower to come into us, behold us. And then the flower will always be, no matter where we go, into our heart. And that is the meaning of Hua Lili Lehua. And my daughter is named after this song, the heavenly flowers from heaven.
This is so typically Hawaiian. You can't talk about Hawaii without crying.
This side so the camera can see you. This side, because the camera, it's on Zoom, everything's on Zoom. Okay. He'll put it on.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll just do the slides on all the islands that you know, Maui, Hawaii, Kauai, and that's it. Oh. 82 and 76, not bad, huh?
Oh.
Want to go on?
We have to stop sharing now.
So if you guys have been to Kauai, Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island of Hawaii, you'll want to kind of occasionally glance up at the screens because we will be running a rotating and a continuing slideshow on each of the islands. But I thought that only Mark Twain could call it what it really was all about. He said that Hawaii was the loveliest fleet of islands anchored in any ocean. Wow, could he write? He said, no alien land in all the world has any deep, strong charm for me but that one. No other land could so longingly and beseechingly haunt me, sleeping and waking through half a lifetime as that one has done. I can see its garlanded crags. Imagine coming up with words like that. Its leaping cascades, its plumy palms drowsing by the shore. Coconut trees sleeping by the shore. How fabulous is that? We had to have the Brits come to Hawaii just so they could show us how to talk. Like islands above the cloud rack. So if you just occasionally jump up to see about the islands, we will have each island. If it'll work, it will, I hope and pray. I don't know. Nope. This is the other PowerPoint. We need the other PowerPoint.
I know,
Because this
right,
ended.
it's here.
Oh, okay.
It's not
I got
there.
it. So we just, oh, okay.
Here.
Beautiful show. Nice. And you had one you couldn't find it. You had the same kind, the white shell. Like they had for you the other one. It was different. It was more like that. This comes from Tahiti. Top one. Yeah, Hawaiian. Yep. Beautiful. Aranita lived in Hawaii. For what, 2 years? 2.5.
Got my vote. My mother, well, I had read
You can't leave me so used to it. Is this the first time you've met this long? See, she just had a baby a month ago. Now this is her first long outing away from the baby. But she's already on the phone. How's baby?
done, huh?
Yeah, first time. What was the name?
Ain't happy, man.
No, the baby. Ilana, pretty, yeah.
They call them the Hawaiian rainbows. Rainbow telling.
AI. Is it AILANA? Hawaiian name. She's going. Oh, good. I love it. It's beautiful.
Like I say, it's your. That's staying in a hotel. I just knew when I went to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, beautiful baby.
Hawaii.
And then 9 months along.
Stroller. So,
And it's so beautiful.
Inland about a half a mile. I found a grocery store there and the prices were a fifth of what they had.
Okay, it's Kahlua pig and bully chicken. Not bad. Oh. They are double.
The best way to have pineapple.
Yeah, real. Well, never said two pieces. Definitely not Polynesian. Yeah. But it's always so beautifully presented, you know.
You know what?
Everything. Oh, yes. Never.
Left or right? We have a class on Wednesday about the world and international, national, local. So what was the big controversy? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. We didn't know history.
Hey, my.
The name of the world.
Man.
So.
Fine. Rest. At home.
That.
Yep.
Because what I keep oh, well. Because Brad doesn't have job. It wasn't, you know. Oh, that's. Oh, there's 30 days. What's the? Oh, I know.
How long did you be on this stuff?
Oh, so it's pretty accurate. No? You gotta go. No, go. It goes away in warm weather, I bet. Edith is our newsletter editor, and she writes through. We have all kinds of meetings once a week with her about what's going on.
I coached John at 7, going to Paris to London.
A season. So it's like, and she understands a lot about history. So. Yeah. We got a lot of good tips from her. We're part of the council. Yeah, right. any of you have any contacts? I can't. Her husband is a cybersecurity graduate. Don't have any idea where good numbers are, please let her know.
He has.
Yeah. I'm like, and it's been hard.
Okay, yeah.
It's on LinkedIn. You gotta get on LinkedIn.
So you're gonna get to everybody about your surfing ones? Because if you don't, I will.
LinkedIn is a really good one. Along with Indeed. Another one. Indeed. It comes up with all the local sites.
I was stationed in the army, I was close to the army, that's what my baby. It's called Treasure Island, the island. I would go to Treasure Island and work out. And being on the people you rest. Go out on that. So. Quick work.
It's another option. So where do you find the recruiter?
Anyway, that's what.
You don't have a people of them, it's gotta be full of you.
I know, that's one thing.
Technology. You're right, you my girl. Oh, okay. And text me, let me know, she really.
Oh, yeah.
They got family.
Oh, very.
You should have seen this, yeah. I'm also there. News for the whole valley.
Whatever she says. I just did watch it like on Saturday.
Let's do it.
Right?
Hard to eat before you dance.
Yes. We don't try to make you nervous.
But if
Colin, you can't get you.
Every minute you spend. What came up when you did recruiter?
I don't know.
But even in that agency.
I did, and I'm
You don't think so?
not.
A recruiter is a step above.
Say something.
Follow up team meeting. Smoke.
Even though I went in, I talked.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too much like follow up.
Yeah.
We need some room. And
Very.
you want to stay here? It's a great socialization. And if you keep going to our board, it will be raised. We have nothing but someone. Okay, now. And a lot of. Stepping out of the top and they so that is unexpected.
I
am. You're the same. Especially the full of philosophy.
you know what, I just start. And that was the, even though I was with the mind.
The wrong and dominate. Oh, yes. Then the sunlight, so,
It's a lot.
and then what's left is Hawaii. But we have Brazilians coming in until they open up. Did you know that Portuguese war? Too many.
Yes, they.
And so every time, not from Portugal, Brazil, there's 7.
Is that
A lot of LDS in there. And they
Well,
don't.
heresy today.
And so it's just a matter of-
And everything about Jackson, Wyoming. Whatever you want to. I was born to make sure. And where I thought.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna introduce you.
You know,
Come here. Please come here. Yes. That's what's beautiful. She doesn't trust me, and that's good.
Made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand Gwen is in charge of our curriculum and our classes. So the wonderful classes that you're being able to attend is because of her hard work and working with you to get these classes and these instructors. So please, a round of applause for Gwen for putting this together. She is literally sweated bullets to get this thing to make it work. And as you can tell, she loves technology so much. And then if you get a chance, ask her about her surfing experiences. And that's all I'm gonna say, because you have to ask Gwen before she hits me.
So did any of you see me tandem surfing up there on the Oahu slide? I put one in. I used to tandem surf on the cutest guys on their shoulders. Oh yeah, that's the way to meet cute guys when you're in high school. And one time I thought I died. I really did. I had 36-hour labor with my first child, and I thought I died because I passed out and had the child while I was unconscious. And when I woke up, I thought I was in heaven, but I looked out the window and it was snowing in Vernal. And I was so upset with Heavenly Father, I thought for sure heaven was going to be tropical. So as a closing,
You want to mention your house?
as a closing,
Mention your house.
You want to mention your house?
oh, that's my house that I built on top of Kilauea. I had 4 wonderful years up there, and oh my God, I was Ranger Lemekila at the park. Someday you gotta go to Hawaii if you haven't, the Big Island, I mean.
Yes.
But I would like to introduce Lena Ala, who's from Tonga, actually. And in Hawaii, we claim all our cousins as Hawaiian. And she grew up in Tonga, and she just had a baby a month ago, and this is her first chance away from the baby. So she's here, and I'm so grateful to have her here. She'll be dancing the dance from Tahiti and Tuamotu. And it is a dance about the fragrant and beautiful trade winds that cover and encourage and love our children and beautiful people of the islands. That's what it's about, and she'll dance to that in just a minute when we get the music going. Thank you all so much for coming and celebrating Kill Captain Cook Day and Valentine's Day.
It's ready.
There's nothing quite as beautiful as a young, beautiful Hawaiian hula dancer. Honestly, I wanted you to have that treat. Now, the real Hawaiian way of saying goodbye to everybody is one with joy. We don't sing aloha oi unless someone's leaving forever. That's a sad song. What we sing is something called Hawaii Aloha. And I won't ask you to do it today, but when we Hawaiians get together at the end of any gathering, we sing this song and people stand and hold hands and usually end up crying. But I'm going to ask Gerhard to just play the song for you so you can hear the song. It's all about how much we love Hawaii, how much we love God, and how much we love each other. It's a song of rejoicing. It's a very happy song. And so when we ever get together at Hawaiian Civic Club here in Utah, we all make a big circle, hold hands, sing it, and on the last verse, we raise our hands up high and hug each other and kiss each other goodbye. That's the Hawaii farewell gathering. And I just wanted you to experience it video-wise, so we'll just have you do that, okay? But thank you all so much for looking beautiful and coming and sharing this wonderful Valentine's Day with Elder Quest. Aloha.
If you cannot harm whistle, if you cannot do either or, just sit down.